right, marketers, grab your overpriced standing desks and that oat milk latte you love so much, because welcome to Notorious B2B, the only show where we treat LinkedIn drama like breaking news and expose the real B2B marketing sins.
Yeah, think of us like SNL meets TMZ, but for the people who argue about whether gated content is still a thing or not. I'm Task Bober, B2B landing page nerd and lovable troll on LinkedIn.
And I'm Tim Davidson, the guy making TikTok-style videos and cutting fruit on LinkedIn. Together, we're cutting out nonsense and roasting the most ridiculous trends in B2B marketing.
Because if we have to suffer through another 10 things getting engaged taught me about B2B sales, we're taking you all down with us.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
Welcome
to
the NB2B,
Are
Notorious
we-
B2B.
Are we so official now? Are we an official podcast if you have sponsors?
I mean, I guess, but I think it's official when you're on Apple. But yeah, I guess we can go like
It's
different
official
level.
when you're on Apple.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's official when you actually get on the podcast platforms.
Yeah.
And then it's like a boss level that you defeat when you then get sponsors, right?
Yeah, but there's probably levels of the boss. But yeah,
Levels of the boss, yes. Yeah. But I think that we made our way, for being newbies in the area. We launched Notorious B2B. It was more of like a creative project. It was just fun. It still is fun.
Yeah.
And then we jokingly decided to ask for sponsors, and we made a funny pitch at Drive and said, well, bash your competitors. Some people thought it was hilarious. We will not name our sponsors yet until they're actually on the podcast.
We're legit.
Until it's legit. But Tim and I did secure interest for sponsors. Yes. And then we secured 2 of them, and then a couple of them are like, we want in too. And we're like, well, now we're out of inventory. So, but that's a good problem to have.
Especially when you're starting a new podcast as well.
Especially when you're starting a new podcast. It's not like we're the biggest or anything, but
maybe
it's us. People
biggest
are buying
where?
into us. People are buying into us. Okay. Anyway, but we're kind of excited about that because our passion project is turning into something a little more real and fun. And Tim and I have talked about this. We would do this all day long if we could,
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Now we can, it's not like we're going to use those to like go buy a freaking, I don't know, a car. I don't even have a car, but
What?
It's good. I mean, I do have a car, but I hardly use it. Last year I drove like 2,000 miles. It's crazy. But we're going to use it for, you don't know this yet, but I'm hoping we can use it for like more clips and more content, and obviously starting a new podcast and more time on it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm excited. I kind of want to buy one of those like clip farmers that like do all the YouTube ones, the YouTube short ones.
Yeah. I mean, we do have shorts that come out of this. But I think our VAs kind of handle it, but you're talking about making it a little more legit.
I'm talking about hiring those like B2C people that take like all the famous people and they like create Instagram accounts, and then they like post just tons of viral clips. I want to try that out at some point.
Okay.
I'm not sure if we'd be viral, but that'd be interesting. Like tons of them. It's interesting. It'd be interesting.
You know what? I'd be down to try that and put it in a bucket where we use it for more fun content.
Yeah.
Because F LinkedIn ads and landing pages. Who cares about that?
I don't even know what those are, to be honest.
Okay. Anyway, but speaking of the other podcast, we recorded episode 3 of The Marketer's Exit yesterday. I swear to God, it is coming soon. We just have to wrap up a little bit of the design cover art stuff, and then we're going to release like 3 or 4 episodes by that point that you can binge a little bit. And it's going to be all around, if you're an in-house marketer, either an agency, corporate world, whatever, you want a side hustle, whatever you want to do. We're kind of talking about the behind the scenes and not just the good stuff, because the grass isn't always greener. And in episode 3, we already discovered Tassa's biggest problem. So yeah,
True.
That's that. And we just want to flag that for you, that it's on the horizon.
We're waiting for you because everyone loves little Netflix binging. So we wanted to make it bingeable.
Oh, are we blaming the audience? We're gaslighting everyone?
No, we're making it for you. It's not blaming them. It's blaming.
Oh, we're doing it for you.
It's blaming Netflix, really.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah, because they only release a few episodes at a time. Yeah, but then we'll go into a weekly cadence like we have been for Notorious B2B. So you get a double dose of Tim and Tass. I feel bad for you.
But. Yeah, I mean, just let us know when you're over it, and then we'll figure it out.
I'll swap Tim out for someone else because I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Right?
We go, or I can change my voice or something. We can figure that out.
I think you should do different characters every time, like B2B Ross. And then, like my daughter, every night she says, hey, I want to see what? I'm serious. You should so do it. Astronaut Tim, B2B Ross.
Do not tempt me with a good time.
I am 100% tempting you.
I have very many alter egos in my office.
Oh, okay.
I have many alter egos I can go through.
Let's do it. What have we been waiting for?
I tried many characters over the time, so I could go down that route. Just saying.
Okay, let's do it. I'm excited.
Maybe. We'll see.
It's like when people used to anticipate Lady Gaga's outfits, and every time she'd like show up in something outrageous, and it would be more outrageous than the last time. That's kind of what we expect from you.
Well, no, because mine are legit though. Like hers are just like meat. She's like wearing meat. It's like weird stuff. Mine's like legit.
I like how you're legit and Lady Gaga is not. Okay. All right. We got a full docket today. It is like packed.
It's bumping. Yeah.
It is a bumping docket. But we're going to start again with our buddy Neil Patel. What is going on with him? Why are we talking about him so much? What happened this time?
I don't know if it's lately. I just think we're starting to see more of it. I think it's always been this way, but it just seems like, and I think you made the point, it just seems like he doesn't really know much, but maybe not.
I will say this. Somebody did message me after listening to the episode where we, talked about him gating at Inbound. And they said, Neil Patel is a client. I think the person just humbled Neil Patel is a client and said, he's a client. He does know his stuff, FYI. Relative.
I'm sure he does. The perception is not, though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does. He's gotten to a place by doing something. All right. Here's why Neil Patel's in the news and B2B news. Bethel Malley. Malley? Malley. Yeah. I just received a marketing email from Neil Patel, and I'm a bit confused. I actually opened it because the topic of gated content is something I've been thinking about, and I really wanted to get Neil's view on this. I really like a lot of what Neil puts out there, but what I got from it is don't get your content, ... but also gate it. Maybe I've read it wrong. Maybe I'm stupid, but it didn't pass my grumpy granddad test. Let me explain. In email, you need to be quick. People scan, people read, and people then process and register the most important bit. How they perceive the information, not how you perceive it or how your CEO perceives it, how they do. Now, if your email was in front of a grumpy granddad, if he can get it without taking off his glasses, LOL, or muttering it over and over, having to repeat it, it would make sense. If you can clearly understand the message, what the email is trying to get him to do or feel or understand, then great. Get that email out. You've passed the test. It's a fail-safe way of making sure your audience will get it. Side note here, I know on LinkedIn, it's best practice to kind of like space out everything.
Yeah.
I want to be clear. Very niche, clearly. It's harder to read out loud when you do space out everything every sentence. I really wish there was kind of like some paragraph. Just saying, just stating the facts.
And I think the problem, we're going to go on a tangent about formatting on LinkedIn posts. I think the problem isn't the spacing out, because I space out quite a bit. But the thing is, people are doing it almost mid-sentence. Like things that need to be together, they're breaking it out. And that's what makes it hard to read when you're reading it out loud. Like then great. But if... or should kind of be in the same, those two sentences need to be together. So I can see what you're saying, but I think that's where they take that formatting stuff that the gurus say and then they totally fudge it up, themselves. But anyway.
Yeah, and I do too, by the way. So just stating here.
Yeah.
Regardless, the whole granddad thing, she puts an image of the actual email. So I thought it'd be more interesting to read that. It's from Neil Patel. The headline or the subject line is gated content. He says, should you gate your content behind a form or just give it away and maximize reach? Here's what works and what I do. Give away a ton of value for free, no gates, no barriers. This builds trust, authority, and gets people talking about you. The more you help up front, the more people want to come back. Give away everything. So basically, ungate it all. Let it free. But you can also share teasers, insights, and highlights from your best research, templates, or guides. Then gate the full version for those who are truly interested. Sometimes I even gate content that is available for free on my blog, but for different acquisition channels. That works really well. Smart gating keeps you visible in search, yes, even with AI, and it still fills your pipeline. Want a custom plan for your business, blah, blah, blah. So it goes into a pitch.
Okay, side note, you did read that a lot better and faster with his formatting than her post.
Yeah,
That
you're right.
was like smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what a freaking hilarious email, because the first half is give away everything. He
Yeah.
literally says, give away everything. And then goes into, but you can still gate stuff, even if it's stuff that you've ungated.
He even says a blog. That's what
Yes.
throws me off too. Like I thought he was trying to get to the thing of like, yeah, give it all away for free, except for like do the whole, you know, shade out the bottom part so they have to gate that's gated. Like you can't really see the bottom part. But then he
Yeah.
goes, then he says, or actually I gate some of my blog posts. It seems like it's two different emails, really.
Yes. Yes. Like I feel like maybe he should have said, instead of gated content being the subject line, it could say a new take on gated content, smart gating or whatever. Because he calls something smart gating later and says, yes, you could give everything away for free,
Yeah.
but it just seemed like he had two separate thoughts and put it all into the same email and they're conflicting thoughts about the same concept. So yeah, I agree with her. I saw this and I was like, yeah, that doesn't. And it's funny because I got the same email. I'm subscribed to
Oh, did you?
stuff. One of the things people say is that they never remembered subscribing to Neil Patel stuff, but then they're somehow subscribed. And it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't even know when I signed up. But since it's him, it's been coming to my inbox for a while. Do I read everything? No, but this was actually something I did see in my inbox. And then I saw her post and I was like, oh, yeah, actually, you know what? I thought the same thing.
Yeah, so since you're subscribed to it, I'm just curious if it's an actual like Neil Patel like newsletter or is it like his company newsletter or like do we know he writes it? Because my other thought here was like I understand we're calling it Neil Patel because it's from Neil Patel, but I don't I have a feeling he didn't write this. This is probably his team.
Yeah, and I think that can be assumed. That's what we also assumed when he didn't give his Reddit tips at Inbound, is it was kind of like a no comment thing. And for whatever reason, either he wanted to check with his team or like he didn't know whether he would be giving an appropriate answer. I think when you're as big as him, like you're delegating a lot of that stuff out, like your
Mm-hmm.
team's researching that stuff. Maybe they're more junior people. I don't know. I would venture to guess that this was obviously not written by him.
Yes.
Are
Agreed.
you looking it up to see if it was written by him?
No, I wanted to note that I know we've talked about him twice now. And if it was just like some regular guy, I'd probably try to give him the benefit of the doubt. But he's like notorious for stealing content. So I just
Mm,
feel like he's not, don't know the guy. I'm sure he's
yeah.
great. But you can even type in Neil Patel stealing content and there's blog posts and Reddit threads about him stealing other people's content.
Yeah.
He's just known for doing stuff.
But also he has like a tremendous team. Like it's huge,
Yeah.
right? So
Oh,
when
yeah.
you're
He's got
that,
big companies.
maybe when he started as, obviously he gained this much fanfare from being him, being unique, potentially at the start. And then as you hire people and you get further and further away from the content and you're hiring other people to do the content for you and you're not able to review it, I think that's where some of the mistakes happen. I mean, I'll say this. You and I, do we review every clip
No.
from the podcast that goes out on our company page and Instagram and TikTok and all this other stuff? No, I see it sometimes for the first time when I'm on TikTok or I'm on LinkedIn. I'm like, oh, there's my face. And I will look at the caption or the clips and stuff and I'm like, okay, yes, that is kind of what we're talking about. Would I have written that caption? No, I would not. Right? And
Right.
so it's one of those things though, like we're doing that at such a smaller scale. He is so big. He has this huge team. He's not reviewing every email that's going on. Neil Patel's probably at some retreat having a blast, like not paying attention to the outside world at all, right? When you become that person, that's who it becomes. But he's the one that holds the brand. So he's ultimately accountable for it. If something goes wrong with one of our notorious B2B clips, you and I are the ones that are responsible for it, right? Not our VAs who put it out, not
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
editor who edited it. It's us. And we have to swallow that pill. But he's obviously at a much larger, bigger scale.
Yeah. I mean,
I,
it goes without saying for sure.
you know how last time you were like, that's just capitalism, that's just business? I feel like this is also one of those instances where, like, yeah, I mean, that's just what it is to
Everything's business.
be.
Yeah.
It is to be that big, like to be that guy. You know what I mean? So when other people are doing stuff for you, you don't have the time to like sit and review, or you're not going to sit and review. You get so big, you almost get bigger than the brand itself. These things are going to happen. And ultimately, it happens a lot with him. I don't know how much like damage control needs to happen or whatever, but this one wasn't as bad, I feel like. It's not him stealing. It's just confusing. It's like, what's the piece of advice I need to follow then? But he's just one of those people that you either love him or you hate him. Clearly, most of the internet does not like him.
No, it can't be true, because I think a lot of people do love him because
they do. Oh, that's good.
That's how big they get. That's why he's so big.
Yes, true.
You know? He's a name.
He's a name.
He's a name. It's good.
He's a name. Okay. So that was the latest on Neil Patel. So the TLDR on whether you should gate content or not, do both.
Do you?
Do whatever.
I've told this story many times. For the most part, I am not a big content gator because I've seen it do nothing. Yeah. I also worked with a company where 50% of gated content leads turned into deals. 50%.
But I mean, I'm going to venture to guess though that the content is actually also really good.
It's good. It good? It's good. I'm not their buyer. So it's hard to say. I wouldn't say it's extraordinary.
Okay.
But I would say the industry is not MarTech and sales tech. Right? Yes. MarTech and sales tech, you can't get anything going with the deals from that. This is just a different industry where there isn't as much readily information and things like that, and you're not like in Slack communities on LinkedIn all day, watching Tim Davidson's posts or whatever,
So I gate one thing,
don't you?
I do. I gate my resource hub, and the resource hub was just an internal thing that I did, which is, and we should talk about marketing yourself and lead magnets on TME on the other podcast. But so I have a resource hub, which was just me solving my own problem of I could not find old LinkedIn posts that I wanted to refer to and send people to. So I'm like, okay, so I worked with my VA. We collected all my LinkedIn posts and we put it into Notion at first so that I could go in and search. And then I was like, you know what? Instead of sending these individually to people, I'm just going to post it on LinkedIn and say, here's the hub for free. It's all the LinkedIn content that's already out there. But then I was like, ooh, I want to know an exact count of people going to the resource hub to do nothing with that email. And literally it's a single field. It's your email, no business email, whatever email you want. You want to put a fake email in there, that's fine. I just wanted a count of how many people would download and actually go to it. And there's like 4,000 people who have downloaded it. I promoted maybe like once every 2 months, but I have 4,000 people in there and I get submissions every single day for it. And then one of the
every day still?
Every day I will get multiple. Yeah, I know. And the fun thing is it also gives me some analytics. I moved it to Coda because Coda doesn't have a limit on how many table rows I can have before I have to pay. And you know how cheap I am. But basically it was like half of the people revisit it nonstop. So like it's like 4,000 people have downloaded it, but I have like double the views. So half of them like keep coming back to reference it. So there's like 8,000 views in there, which is something insane. So yeah, so that way I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It's just a way to make your content live forever. That's gated stuff. Have I submitted my name for like other gated content? Yeah. Any LinkedIn kind of benchmark reporting, that kind of, I love that stuff. So I will download that stuff all the time. But the ones that look like very transparent efforts to sell, like you need to buy, here's the state of CRMs. And if you don't have a CRM, you kind of suck. Those are the ones that are like, yeah, obviously that's not going to get us a bunch of pipeline. It's very transparent effort to try to sell us. So yeah. But do you gate Loda? Loda is Tim's LinkedIn ads library. Is that what it is?
Yes, but it's really it's the LinkedIn ads library and Coda. So it's Loda.
Yes. I knew it was something funny and
weird.
Cute like that.
Loda. Which I don't even know I have it in Coda. I can just move it to wherever. It's actually I actually have a domain for it, but if like someone types in HTTPS versus not, it like gets messed up. So I just start shutting people to Coda every time.
Yeah, I love Coda. That's where I have all of my stuff in there, and then it's all categorized. You did it with Loda, and then your assistants went above and beyond and made them like color coded, or you told
Yeah,
them
that
to
was one
make
of
it
my
color
favorite
coded. That was
things.
pretty baller.
That was my
So that's your
favorite
ads
thing.
library. I have a second one where I have like 100 landing pages in there, and I haven't released it because I want to give it a rating scale to be like this. These aren't 100 great landing pages. It's just landing pages that belong to these companies. So I want to be like, yeah, this is a good one. This is a bad one. So again, I'm the bottleneck, but I should just probably release it into the wild because people ask me all the time, do you have a swipe file of landing pages?
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't get it, and because I just wanted people to have access to it. I think the only downside for me, because I would, even if I did get it, I'm not going to send an email thread.
yeah, I haven't
on my
sent a
thing.
single, I mean, I sent one email out when I moved from Notion to Coda. That's it. That's the
You
only time
couldn't
I
pay
sent
me to do
email.
a cadence, so it's never happening. But I don't know what's going on. I don't even know if people use it, like, because I can't see that. I've had
Well,
people mention it to me, so I know that, but I can't
okay.
see any I can't see any analytics at all. So I don't even know if people are seeing it or going on it at all. So that's the only thing I would say is like that'd be interesting if I knew that or not.
Okay, moving on. Big prompt energy. We have 4 stories sitting in here. This should be fun. Tell me what's going on with Accenture. This was a big layoff story that happened. I feel like we're doing a layoff story every week because of AI. But honestly, my take is ultimately companies are going to circle back around because they're going to need those humans again to intervene. I just heard a story earlier this week. One of my friends is like, yeah, I was working for this company. They got rid of half of their engineers and then realized, oh, we need the engineers to QA what the AI was doing. And now the company is like backtracking and bringing a couple of the engineers back because they need someone to intervene and look at that. So that's kind of where I see it going a little bit. But what is happening now with Accenture?
But and I think we've seen that with a couple of companies. So I think time will tell, right?
Yes.
So Accenture, like you said, they let off some more people. This time, 11,000 employees. Pretty big number, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Accenture's huge, but that's a big number. This one's from Alex Lieberman, co-founder of Morning Brew. I thought it was very interesting what he talks about here. So he says Accenture is laying off 11,000 employees. The most interesting specifics from the announcement. Fact. Big letters here. Fact. Primary focus is investing in upskilling people. It will be exiting people in a compressed timeline where reskilling is not a viable path for the skills it needs. My take, he says, roles where AI is already as good as the job being done, customer support, data entry, etc., is where roles are going to be eliminated. It's fair enough. Yeah. So if
I pause real quick. I like how he's written this post with the fact and then his take underneath each of it versus just his take at the end, because he's a smart dude. He knows that's how we're going to read it. And, he writes so people will consume the content. Anyway, keep going.
Thank you, Miss Format. Thank you very much. You love your formats.
I do love formats. Yes.
Yes. All right. Fact. Julie Sweet sees a huge difference in how people are using AI in their individual lives that is incredibly easy and how to use it in an enterprise. Let's see who Julie Sweet is that he mentions here. It's the chair and CEO at Accenture.
Oh, casually tags her.
Just a quick tag. We'll see if she comments.
Love it.
Probably not. My take, this is why most companies' AI strategy is employees using ChatGPT and taking advantage of the AI features of software tools the company pays for. To be clear, this isn't an AI strategy.
Ooh.
Fair enough. Fact. It is well recognized that advanced AI has taken the mindshare of CEOs, the C-suite, and boards faster than any technology development we've seen in the past 2 decades. Yet, value realization has been underwhelming for many. My take, there are 3 levels of AI adoption in an enterprise. Level 1, individual tool use, ChatGPT. Level 2, single player process transformation, i.e., a seller builds an AI first workflow to spend more time selling. Level 3, multiplayer process transformation. Multiple steps, multiple hands touching the process requires coordination and adherence across the org. Majority of enterprises sit at level 1. Top decile sit at level 2. Very few elite are at level 3. Fact. Accenture has roughly 9,000 clients and reported 37 new clients with quarterly bookings greater than 100 million in the fourth quarter alone. It reported 129 such bookings for the year. My take. Like the internet, the TAM for AI transformation is global GDP. Given this is the greatest technological innovation of our generation and it sits horizontally across every business, the demand for AI support will be unprecedented. Fact. We really have to change. And this change is so big that it is reversing 5 decades of how we're working. 5 decades is bold. I'm sorry, that's 50 years.
50 years is actually not that long if you think about it.
In Accenture, it is.
At Accenture,
in the life of humans, yes. In the life of
companies,
the world, yes, obviously.
Yeah.
But in the life of Accenture, not really. My take, in some ways, legacy consultancies are well positioned for a post-AI world. Deep relationships with the 500 and high talent density. In other ways, adapting to the new paradigm will be exceptionally difficult. Building an AI company from scratch is far easier than reinventing a 780,000 employee behemoth, and the business model for consulting will likely be disrupted as the cost of intelligence decreases. Done. I wish you could search for comments so just so I could see if what's her face.
Product feature submission.
What? Oh.
To LinkedIn. Okay.
Do you, I guess I'm more curious, and I think this goes back to what we were talking about with these. Are you laying it off for AI in the sense of AI is going to replace these 11,000 employees? Or are you a consulting firm where everyone kind of makes fun of you and Deloitte and all the others because you just pump out these research papers for extreme amounts of money where they're saying AI can actually replace you, and they're starting to see that, and so they're seeing less bookings, and so actually the fact is you just need to lay off the 11,000 employees.
I mean, okay, 11,000 from a 780,000 person org is small. Like, yeah, a drop in the bucket.
True.
And Alex gives his take, which is it's going to be the ones where AI can basically replace the entire role. It's hard for me to say that AI can replace customer service because we saw how that failed miserably for Zoom last time. So I don't know if we're there yet. I think it can handle a lot of repetitive tasks, but you know, human lives are nuanced and have a lot of context. And when we're pissed off and looking for customer service, we're not going to give them a lot of context. I just don't know how well it can perform. However, for things like data entry, analysis, that kind of stuff, and like you said, if they take all of their past reports and teach ChatGPT, this is the format, how we've done the previous reports, here's all the raw research that we've done, put it in this research format, yeah, that would eliminate a bunch of people who would essentially be putting that together, you know, like maybe copywriters and stuff like that. It's probably capitalizing a lot on their stuff that they have done in the past already. And so, you know, I think that it's actually a small percentage of what they're doing. And I agree with him that it's going to be these roles that AI can pretty much do at least 90% of, which is quite a few now, you know, as compared to before. Like if you think about 50 years ago, what was 50 years ago? What's the math?
What was 50 years? Like 1980s.
Okay. Oh, 1980s. See, to me, I'm like, that's not 50 years ago. It's not the 1980s. I was born 89, bro.
All right, and I'm 75. 35. Sorry. Oh my, 5 years off.
It was more than 5. Wait, I was like, hold on a second. I am not 50.
You just made a huge thing out. It's 5 years off. It's not. It's literally 5%.
I'm 35.
10%.
50 is totally different. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So back in the day when we were doing like filing with papers manually, like we obviously replaced that with computers. And so you don't need people who file stuff anymore. You know, those things have changed. And I think this is just like what the filers of our generation are going through. You know, it's like if you're doing data entry, that kind of stuff, like you're done.
Yeah. The difference is now there's social media so people can talk about it.
Yes, exactly. They just had no means to bitch back in the day, except to each other.
Well, and I think that's the thing. It's like, I don't even think layoffs suck, obviously, and people will probably still talk about them. I think more of it is that they're saying the layoffs are because of AI when people don't think that's actually true.
Yes.
If you think about it, it's probably not as true as it is.
Yeah. So there's a comment down there. If you scroll down, one guy says, my hot take is that interesting points, but here's a contrarian take. Accenture layoffs aren't about AI adoption. They're the first cracks in legacy consulting firms. History repeating itself. Blockbuster couldn't become Netflix. Taxis couldn't become Uber. Traditional consultancies won't become AI native advisors. And the signs are clear. The super interesting thing here is my husband actually works for a big consulting company, not as big as Accenture, but they're pretty big. And it's the same thing. Now they're like, their clients look at them as now you got to be AI experts. Like overnight, they didn't just become AI experts. You know what I mean? It's like the boom happened and then everyone's scrambling. It's like, hey, you over there, you're going to be head of AI. He's like, okay, I'm not sitting here building LLMs, bro. And that's kind of where it's coming from too. And so this Paul Briggs guy is like, the signs are clear. Layoffs are disguised as restructuring. They're bolting on old tech and new tech. Now these boutique firms are coming in with like AI advisory being very specific, and then AI native providers, which are, built on AI from day one, that kind of stuff. So that's who Accenture and those consulting companies are going to start to compete with, are these like small niche, very AI specific shops, because they are not going to be able to transform their model and, like he said, train 780,000 employees and become, make them AI native suddenly. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Remember when you said 5 decades is not that long? Accenture was started in 1989, so it's been
35 years.
They're not even 50 years old. So
yeah, I was born in 1989. Long. Me and
pretty
Accenture
long.
together have been born in 1989.
Pretty long.
Okay, we got to keep it moving.
Fair enough.
Okay, so next one. I actually thought this was interesting. So Amrita, we all know her. Amrita. She is or was head of marketing a couple of places, and then most notably ClickUp, Zapier for a little bit. And I think now she is an advisor and consultant out on her own. But this was interesting because we talk about comment gating a lot. And I saw her post where she said, basically, she's been advising this company, Waldo. They just got their, Series A at 10 million. She kind of talks about what Waldo does. And the really interesting thing that I saw at this post is she said, hey, do you want in on all this buzz around Waldo? Comment waitlist and I'll get you early access, which is about 12K value based on your current, on our current pricing. And then the other interesting part is that she uses a starting a new position post. So obviously all eyes on this post because it's like, oh, where's she going next? Like, what is she doing? Right. And then we go to this post, we're reading about it, and we're like, oh, okay, she's advising. Is she going full-time with these folks? And then it's like, oh, okay, actually, she is asking us to join a wait list. She's not going to go full-time with them. But I thought it was kind of like the next level of the comment gating thing. And I love Amrita. I've talked to her a bunch of times, met her, great. She and I chat, whatever. But it was just so interesting to me that this is a different way of doing it. So she's not gating some like dumb playbook, on LinkedIn for like, oh, I'm going to teach you how to make 15 million. But to do this for like a product wait list and using a starting a new position post, I wanted to get your take on how you feel about this kind of comment gating.
I think the metrics tell the truth. It fucking flopped.
Oh,
it flopped.
She got
hard.
Okay. For those just listening, she got 61 reactions and 37 comments.
Now let's think about this for a second. She combined two things that usually go wild.
Yes.
New position stuff goes crazy.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Always goes crazy.
Yeah.
Comment gating usually goes crazy because of that stupid fudging reach of the comments.
Yeah.
Both of those together flopped. And she's not some noob.
No.
She's got a great track record. She's been on LinkedIn for a bit. She has, like you said, Zapier, Superside, ClickUp. She's been at some places.
Yeah, almost 15,000 followers. Like,
that shit tanked.
Yeah,
that
it didn't
clearly
do very well.
Not it. So regardless of whatever we think, it's not it.
It's not it.
Everything she did had the potential to go crazy. Opposite. She would have been better off choosing one. I think she would have been better off either new position with no comment gating or comment gating. I think just saying, I think it's just the truth. That thing flopped. So it's not it.
It's not it. Do you think that it has more to do with the company though? Because it says, she kind of talks about the company, which I did read all of it. And it's like, it thinks about your brand while you sleep and it gives you live insights, about your brand, like whatever, when you wake up, and it's going to be great. So it's kind of like a brand insights product kind of thing. Do you think that was just not as interesting? What if it was like more interesting product? You think that would have been something that maybe would have gotten more traction?
Yeah, no, no, don't get me wrong. She could have made some tweaks that would made it better. Like she had the one part. No, I'm not saying you should do this, but you could do this. She
Yeah.
made the one part about like a 12K value. She could have started with that and been like, "I'm giving away something that's usually 12K for free." Like how all the others give, replace their marketing team. You could do something like that in the headline, which probably would have been better, and then kind of went to the story and then did it. To your point, look, if she
There's a
did
lot
it
of variables. Yeah.
if she did it for a company that everyone knew, brand always kills. Like if you said if it was for Zapier, people would have known of Zapier and it would have had more traction because people understand Zapier and use Zapier. If it
Yeah.
was for clay, if it was for a product people actually use and know, people would have done that. There's more of a brand to it. This is a wait list. I've never heard of Waldo. My first initial thought was, "Where's Waldo?" Like
Where's Waldo?
I was just trying to make a meme of it. Not the best picture either. That kind of looked like a Canva picture.
Yeah, I think maybe what happened is the starting a new position post was a little bit diluted because of the image that went with it that looked very much like an ad. And so I don't even think people got to the part where she had the CTA that said comment whatever, because it just like she kind of talked about a little bit of the problem, like we're flying blind and this changes, and then she goes into this company's advice that I'm advising. Oh, they got their Series A. Oh, this is what they do. And having access to this information is table stakes. And then it goes one in, like towards the end. And it says, comment waitlist, I'll get you early access about 12K in value. She's not saying that you will get it for free. She's just saying it's a 12K value of what you would get, meaning, are some people thinking, shoot, I get on this waitlist, am I going to have to pay? So there were a lot of questions that were left open and that. So I think what I'm going to say, hot take, it could work in perhaps a different context, a little different lead in, maybe not using the image, just using the standard LinkedIn starting a new position image would have got more visibility from it. And then it got my brain thinking of, you and I don't like comment gating, but are there instances where it would actually be okay? Do we just hate what it's being used for right now? It's being used for stupid playbooks that are terrible and people aren't sending it to you. But could it be something that people could use for like a product wait list?
Yeah, and to as I'm saying, like it flopped. I do want to be clear. It flopped in terms of like the reach metrics. If you look to the comments, I mean, again,
37 people said wait
well,
list.
yes, but also the people. And this is a wait list for a product. This is not some sort of blog post. This is not some sort of like N8 N thing that no one knows how to use into Notion doc that you can't even read. Like you got Kyle Lacey in here looking for the wait list. Yeah, Ruth Zive, who's I can't remember where she was last, but she's big time. Head of marketing at Pager, CEO at Audience Led, VP of marketing at Cinch. Gwen. We all know Gwen and Camille. Like they're all good people here. Camille, I think. Sorry. You got some great like CMOs and VP of marketings in here. So even though I'm saying it flopped, it tanked, blah blah blah, I'm only saying it because of like the class. Well, everyone kind of does it for usually, which is the kind of reach and getting a bunch of people to do it. It's a wait list. It's not a blog post. So if you get a few of these people using it, it's a much different value. So I could see how it worked there.
I think this is a matter of quality over quantity, because with the other ones, you kind of want a little bit of the quantity because you get the reach and that kind of stuff. And for anyone who is just joining us for the first time, commentating at those posts where people basically comment X for whatever dumb playbook. And then usually those posts go into the hundreds, thousands, and in some cases, even way more than that. And then they never deliver on it. But this is kind of a different way and a take on it. I actually didn't mind that she said comment waitlist. I'm like, cool, that's easy. That's something she can deliver on. She can easily put them on the waitlist. That's not something that she couldn't deliver on. But I thought the tactic of starting a new position was very interesting to couple with that. And I think if someone else did it in a different context and didn't like try to fudge with it too much with the imagery, it could actually pop off.
I think she should have did it in two different posts. One with the start news position to warm people up, and then go with the
Yeah.
wait list the next day or a couple days after. I think that would have did a lot better. I think you tried to do too much. Again, I don't know. Maybe it killed. Maybe you got DMs. I could be completely wrong. Maybe people went to the website. Shoot.
Yeah.
That's how people buy, isn't it? But just from like what we can see, I do feel like just from like the algorithm, just from like a marketing standpoint, you could just split it up and you'd probably be way better off.
I wonder from her analytics, because LinkedIn released new metrics, and the new metrics are the number of
screenshots and shares in Microsoft Teams and shares in Slack and shares in the fridge, the company fridge. A lot of options there. Yeah.
Yeah, lots of options, but that may not be available for everybody, but the saves are in there for at least
reposts,
some people. And profile viewers, how many times it's been sent in a message inside LinkedIn, the number of saves, and then if you got any followers from a post. So yeah, those are some of the metrics which I love. Like yesterday I posted this infographic and it got like 80 reactions, but then I looked at the saves and 44 saves went there, which is like 50% of the reactions, which is actually really good. So it's my new metric of measurement for whether content's slapping or not, because people like to lurk. People on LinkedIn lurk. That's what they do. Most people on LinkedIn lurk. You know, we just have the select few like us who are just on there all the time, friggin' commenting. Okay.
Sorry, I'm not trying to knock your saves. I think that's awesome. Good job. It's way more than I've ever got. I think it's hilarious though that people actually save it. I've never gone to my saves.
I know, me neither, actually.
I'll screenshot it, but you can't see that metric. I'll screenshot it all day. Like if it's an infographic like that, I'll screenshot. And then when a plane has bad Wi-Fi, I'm going through those.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
That's interesting.
When I got bad plane Wi-Fi, I go through that in my notes. I kind of like condense the notes, get rid of notes and stuff. Those are like the two big things. Or if I have my laptop too, I'll also like delete the many screenshots. But that's like a big thing. When the Wi-Fi is bad, especially with these short flights, I'm going through those screenshots.
Wow. Okay. I did not know that's how you would spend your free. That is not how I would choose to spend my free non-Wi-Fi time on a plane.
What would you do?
Read. That's one thing.
Clip your toenails? I bet you're probably one of those. Yeah.
No.
Guaranteed.
No clipping of the toenails. I definitely either read. I will go through.
You bring like a book on there?
Pictures. Yeah. I bring a big, which I don't know why. I brought a book to when we went to drive. I brought a big old book and just lugged it around the whole time and didn't read a single word when I was there. I know.
I used to bring a book. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna read it. Yeah, let me read it. Nope.
No, I will write notes if I'm thinking of something, or like parodies to songs, things like that. But that's it. I'm not going through my screenshots and deleting.
You're just gonna pop off a piece of paper and just start writing.
No, like, notes on my phone.
Oh.
Notes on my phone. And
also, my story.
To be fair, I did go to school for writing. I do enjoy writing. Therefore, I write on LinkedIn. You know, that's my outlet.
No shot. You're just pulling out a big pad of paper and like,
no, I'm not.
Let me just story time. Let me just dear diary. No, you could do that.
No, it's on my phone.
One day in Ohio, I was doing this.
I write on my phone. I write notes on my phone.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right, let's move on. We have this interesting thing that happened. It's less B2B and more, well, maybe it is B2B because it is like AI related. So moving on, this was something that was super interesting. First, I want to say that it got like 2,800 reactions, 507 comments, and 154 reposts. So it kind of was a wild post. Nick Tran, president and CMO of First Round, he posts this, which is New Yorkers are fighting back against Friend AI, one subway poster at a time. Friend spent more than $1 million blanketing the city with over 11,000 ads for its AI wearable device. It's a $129 wearable AI companion. It hangs around your neck like a necklace. It listens to you constantly and texts back through a phone app. It runs on Anthropic's Claude and builds a personality over time, sending encouragement, commentary, and unprompted messages designed to feel like a friend. Some stations like West 4th were fully dominated, and the reaction wasn't all applause, it was protest. Ads vandalized with surveillance, capitalism, and get real friends. This is tension every AI brand will face. People don't just evaluate the product, they project their fears about the category onto it, especially in New York, where the public space is political. For AI companies with big budgets, attention is easy, but trust is scarce. As OpenAI, Anthropic, and countless startups race to define the category, every brand move gets judged as a statement about what AI means for people. And so the images here, there's one, and some of the comments were like, yeah, they kind of were asking for it because they have these ads. And for those that are just listening, it's a lot of white space on this ad. And the wearable is like this picture, and it's like, the picture of the wearable, but it's kind of tinted. There's a lot of room in there. And the ad says friend, and then it has the pronunciation friend, noun, kind of like a dictionary definition. Someone who listens, responds, and supports you. And then it has the website friend.com. And on this image, it says surveillance capitalism, get real friends with a big X. Another one. First of all, look at the ad placements. They have one like every 2 feet.
It's the same ad too, right?
ad. Yeah. It's not even anything different. Yeah, you have a budget like that, you just this is mass, spraying and praying. And then here's another one where someone said AI would not care if you lived or died, and then they crossed off the friend in the ad.
Damn.
Yeah, so some brutal stuff in there that people are writing. They're obviously anti-AI in this stage. It's a wearable, it's on you all the time. So question number 1, would you wear something like this? You already do.
No, okay. I don't have access to that.
I was waiting.
I saw stuff about this. They only like released like 1,000 of them or something like that.
Okay.
I don't have access to those. What do you think this is? I want to say no to be proper, but I think I would. I'm not a privacy person. I would rather it be one cookie for everything. Like, I do not want to look at a cookie thing ever again. Like, you can cook me. I don't care. Alexa, I don't have one. Good. But she can listen in. Don't care. My phone, I know my phone's listening in. I am a convenience person. We all do, but not everyone wants to admit it, that we are convenience over privacy. I want my shit saved. I do not want to use freaking authenticator to get in Salesforce every time. I don't care about privacy. I don't. I'm sorry, but I don't. I'd probably wear it because it'd be interesting. I care about others though, and I know other people would care. And so for that, I probably wouldn't wear it, which is why I don't have the Ray-Ban glasses and record everything, or I would. I'm afraid of what people would see when they see the red light and be like, you're recording, dude. Like, that's lame or whatever.
Well, also, isn't it illegal in some states to just record someone without their consent, without telling them?
Not in public.
Oh, not in public.
So if you're in a public area,
you can
outside, especially in New York City, out in the street, you can record, you can listen in. It's a public area. If you're in your house, obviously it's different, right? You can't just walk in and start like,
yes.
I don't know how you do that anyway. You get shot. Not in New York, but you know what I mean? In a public area, and I know this because there was a time when I watched these stupid, annoying TikTok rage baits of people recording people, and like people get mad and they like I'm calling the cops, and they're like, call them. This is like legal. And the cops come up to them and be like, no, you're right. This is legal. And like cops don't know this. It's a whole thing. But anything in public, you can listen, talk, and you can record, take pictures of people because it's in the public. Anything public. Okay. Indoors and stuff, it's different, private places, but you can walk around that anytime and listen to anything that anyone says.
It's interesting. So again, my husband is in tech. I also whatever, marketing, but for tech companies. And one thing that he is very opposite from you is he is overly into the privacy thing. Yeah. So, it's so funny because he's in tech, but I think he understands how misused it can be. And so we don't have any Alexas, any of that stuff in our house, none of that. Bad enough that the phones have to listen to us. He didn't have Face ID on his phone for the longest time. Yeah. And then once
that's not smart.
He finally put it on. And he's like, okay, it is really convenient. So people love convenience. I'm probably a person who would go more convenience than not because I have nothing to hide. But I think for me, the biggest thing that I want more privacy around is my kids. And
Yeah, I
so
get that.
if it was just me, that's one thing. But like I have two Instagram accounts. And the only reason I have two Instagram accounts and I don't just have one that's public is because I share a lot about my kids on the private Instagram that I would not in the public Instagram. Otherwise, like, do I want to manage two Instagram accounts? Hell no, but I'm just mindful about that stuff. I probably shouldn't even post about them in the private stuff, but I've had the private one forever and the public one's only, new. So I don't know if I would do a wearable like that. However, how many of us wear Apple Watches like all the freaking time? It's coming. Like it's already in some shape or form
It's not coming.
embedded.
It's
And
there.
what the
It's
it's
not
there?
coming. It's there.
It's there.
Because that's the other thing. We can try to
Yeah.
not be listened into.
We're being listened to.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
I'm gonna start seeing
we're
ads
definitely
for
listening to it.
friend AI on my phone now. Just wait.
I don't know the legalities of like. There's been a lot of cases where it's like, yeah, Alexa is listening in. Like they can do like that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
we know that is the truth. The phones are also listening in. Well, also like think about all the cameras that are out in the public. You're not hiding from anyone. They can find you.
Yeah.
Where do you think you're going? Well, you stop. Like drive anytime. There's cameras everywhere. Like you're not gonna be able to hide.
The other interesting thing is that we live in this little bubble on LinkedIn, our little bubble of, all the tech companies, the AI stuff, and trying to catch up and making sure we use AI every day and stuff. I have neighbors and people like moms in the PTA and stuff who still don't know what ChatGPT is. And then you have something like this, and we are in a very like sensitive political environment where it's like, privacy and tracking and all of this other stuff too. So on top of that, you have AI, and it's people who may not either they know too much about AI or they don't know anything at all. And either way, it's creating fear. And now you have this. So I bet you some people are making the argument that it's basically one step before going to like microchipping humans. You know what I mean? The tinfoil hat on.
It's
like
already there. What do you?
what microchipping
You
humans
just
is
showed me-
already there.
You just showed me your Apple Watch. People don't care about. People are okay with that and not the friend AI.
Yeah, that's what I'm
We're
saying.
already doing it. Have you
We're already doing.
Whose pocket does not have an iPhone or a smartphone in it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like we're already there. It's just a different form of it. Now,
Yes.
Here's the question, because it's privacy stuff, blah blah blah. But what if we just use it for like what it's actually meant for? Like I had this on as a necklace, right? It looked like it was a necklace, right? And I'm walking and I want to have a question. Instead of pulling my phone, I can just say it out loud.
Yeah.
And then like that sounds cool.
Yeah.
That sounds cool to me.
Yeah.
Why not?
What's wrong with that? You should sign up for the wait list.
Probably like $1,000. I'm not doing that. That sounds lame.
You paid $1,000 for your phone.
I didn't.
Oh.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd use it. I just don't. I mean, yeah. Shoot, I might buy it right now. Maybe I will.
No.
Look it up right now.
Gonna buy it right now. Okay. All right. So the big thing this week, which I guess everybody wants us to cover, we're gonna move on to the Noodle segment. And Clark Barron, he's been missing for a while, which was interesting because it was random. Someone messaged me and said, actually, have you heard from Clark in a while? And I'm like, you know what? I have not. Where is he? And then literally the next day he appeared. So it was like we manifested him back. He did take a little break because of some personal stuff, which we will not cover on this podcast, even though he was very public about it. So you can go and read his post there. We will not cover it here. But he came back with a bang. And the bang is basically him talking about Chris Walker. And there were like 5 people who sent this post to me and said, basically, if you don't cover it, we're never listening to you again. They didn't make those threats, but it was kind of implied. Okay, so Clark Barron posts this graphic that says vibe grifting for dummies. And he has basically someone asking Colin Majak, who we know, product marketing at Sybil. Anyway, he says, okay, honest question. What do you actually mean by high or low frequency? Feels a bit abstract. And then Chris Walker responds to him and says, how would you describe what the world looks like to someone who never opened their eyes? You. What? And then Clark Barron responds to that one and says, this is utter nonsense. I don't even have a poetic, witty line. This is just fucking stupid. So it's funny because this is one of those posts where maybe people didn't react on the post, even though he got like 92 reactions. But seriously, like 5 people sent it to me in the DMs that were like he's saying the stuff that some of us are thinking. I obviously won't call out the people who do it, but here's what Clark actually said about it. He goes, listen, there's always going to be another grift in marketing, and the next big one is a doozy. That's what this whole frequency pitch is. Step 1, start with truths everyone agrees on. Step 2, layer in something unverifiable. And step 3, monetize the invisible thing. Yes, CMO churn is real. Copycat marketing is rampant. Metrics are worshipped because the boards demand numbers. Those are legitimate systemic problems. But then comes the bait and switch. Instead of dealing with incentives, governance, or economics, we are told that the real issue is, quote, low frequency. Did you hear what I just said? The solution to your company's problems is apparently frequency, you know, a vibe, an aura. Oh my gosh, something you can't measure, fix, or hold anyone accountable for. And lucky you, the only way to raise frequency is to buy from the guy who invented the framework. You could eat every part of my ass, you absolute fraud. Okay. He goes, this is no different than the diet guru who tells you sugar is bad, then sells you crystals to balance your metabolism. The crypto bro who points out banks are predatory, then tells you salvation lies in his JPEG ape. The ex-agency, I don't know. The ex-agency owner who acknowledges burnout is real, then insists that the cure is vibrating higher after an ayahuasca bender.
Ayahuasca.
Yeah,
that's how you
Burning
spell
Man.
it.
I don't think that is. Anyway, it's the same move every time. Smuggle nonsense, inside truth. Companies don't need high frequency. You want to know why? Because that's fucking stupid. It means nothing and it's nonsense. So he goes on to say the ass line again and says, the future doesn't belong to high frequency companies. It belongs to companies that stop falling for this BS. You know, I'm actually curious. Who else saw this coming a mile away? Seriously, it was obviously going to be some nonsense grift. This was going to be the next move, right? Damn, feels good to be back. So,
a good way to come back, by the way.
Good way to come back. He also ended up
just do that.
He bought vibegrifting.com as well, just to be funny. But he got a good amount of reactions and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm sure people are talking in the DMs. You and I are always like cautious with covering Chris Walker because he has such a strong like cultish following, right? He's kind of like the Neil Patel, but like of our little B2B
that was
universe.
Brutal.
What? I'm saying that he's as big. Like he's a big name.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't mean that he is Neil Patel. Like he's not.
Gotcha.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like he's a name in our side. Like if you don't know who Chris Walker is, you've kind of been living under a rock in B2B, right? Like that's kind of
in B2B SaaS, at least.
In B2B SaaS, yeah. So people are just generally cautious about talking about him, but then to talk about it like this, here are some of the comments, okay? Before I ask for your reaction, here are some of the comments. David Goodman, he says, hey everyone, it's me, that guy that you know from LinkedIn. I'm back on here to tell you that the problem I helped create has a solution. It's called the product I'm selling now. And everyone's like, thanks, Goodman. That makes a lot of sense. And then someone said, did you listen to his Goodbye podcast where he talked about fingers tingling and stepping to the future? Pretty sure this was the next natural step. Next is to start a wellness frequency cult for business executives. It's pretty much the same as HubSpot inventing a new framework that happens to coincide directly with a whole bunch of new tech that they want to sell. And then here's another person that said, Tiger Joseph says, the funniest part is if you disagree or have criticism of the concept, then you're just low vibration, which is funny because I actually have seen this on some of the posts where if someone is like, what are you talking about? He's like, dude, this is pretty low vibration of you. Should we start using that as a term? I feel like it should be a new term when someone's like, you know, if I don't like a take that you give me on this podcast, I'm going to be like, that sounds pretty low vibration. I'm just going to say it. I think I'm gonna use it. It feels right.
I don't want to be part of the problem though. That's the only thing.
It's right. Okay. And then Obed. I always mispronounce his name. He goes, LOL, guy's a super snake oil salesman, always has been. So you know who's not scared to say stuff? Our friends on LinkedIn. And then this final comment, which I thought was hilarious, is Pete Hugh, who said, I can't believe you came out with this just as I was about to launch my new B2B growth crystals on Etsy. Those are good comments. And then, okay, no, I know I said that was the last one. This is actually the last one. This one guy, Jesse Harris, said, I like his frequency related content because I get to unfollow and ignore anyone gullible enough to fall for it. And Clark responds with, Now that's what I call a refined approach.
Well played.
Okay, what are your thoughts on this? We typically don't like to touch Chris Walker with the 10-foot pole. We did cover when he left Refined.
Yeah.
We did cover when he started Encoded. We did cover the logo mishap. We did cover what it was about and that we knew he was going into this. But now we're entering the part where he's starting to post about it and people are starting to push back with their own posts. I will say this, it is not unlike when he was doing the dark social stuff. People were posting against some of his concepts, like, oh yeah, how did I hear about you field? So this is no different. Clark went at him though. Like this is like, right?
No, you're right. It's very similar to Dark Social and the whatever they called the hamster wheel and like all the other words he made up. But this is like different. Like that you're right. People are kind of pushing against that, but this is a way different concept. I think Clark is actually saying out loud what a lot of people were thinking in the DMs and behind the door.
The scenes. Yeah.
As Chris, probably in the last month is starting to come out on LinkedIn more, and he came back basically and just started to like comment a lot more, post a lot more. He's trying to push what he's doing now.
Yeah.
It's business, literally business. I want to start off with some compliments for the guy.
Oh,
hairline,
okay.
Immaculate. My guy's hairline is unreal. I cannot fathom it, to be honest. Like, good for him. Excellent hairline. Second, business guy. I mean, whatever it is, he could be selling anything. He will sell it. Yes, there is a lot of people pushing back, but if you look through his comments, there's also a lot of people like, oh yeah, you're right, Chris. Like Chris.
Or curious, like even people even Colin, who we know, he said, okay, honest question. What do you actually mean by high or low frequency? It feels a bit abstract. I don't even think I know Colin, so I feel like he wasn't saying it to be condescending. He was genuinely like, hey, tell me so I can understand. And I feel like there are a lot of those people in the comments too, who are like curious about what it actually means, because we talked about this in the other podcast, which is the spiky point of view with West Cow or whatever. And the problem with the spiky point of view is like in order to grow an audience, you have to have a contrarian opinion, but it cannot be something that is too close to someone's like core values. So if you're like, my spiky opinion is fuck religion, like you're going to get a lot of pushback on that. But if you want a spiky opinion on like, hey, with LinkedIn, don't use the recommended settings. And like, well, I don't know. I'm trying to relate to you, but probably in my case, it would be, hey, before you think about conversions, there's so many other signals you need to do before. Okay. So don't make that face. So that's different, right? That's like, okay, here's a logical argument to support that. I think with his dark social stuff, what was the other one he did? Like a go-to-market researcher or something like that. He had like
revenue architect,
like all of these things. Cool. I think he could make the case for some of that based on even anecdotal evidence. I think it's a little bit different here because it is a little more spiritual. And I think it is very close to people's core values of I am spiritual, I am not spiritual. I believe in this like, higher power thing. I don't believe. And so when you're trying to do that, first of all, very huge pivot from like big pivot. And I think that's also the jarring shock. It's like he's built this audience, but his audience isn't like a bunch of people on Instagram who are like following him for crystals and now he's selling, incense. He's like, he went from like, I'm an agency for go-to-market to generate revenue for companies, and now I'm going to talk about high and low frequency and still try to talk to the same audience. That's where the disconnect is actually coming in from.
I don't think he can get away from the B2B world for some reason, and he should have. I think he can do better on Instagram to non-B2B people. I've looked at a couple of his posts, and some of the concepts he does talk about make sense. Like, if you get rid of the frequency stuff, like, that's just words.
Yeah.
If you think about, like, and I talk about this stuff too, like crazy growth goals versus not, like plucked out of thin air, like the stuff that actually like, working 20 hours a week versus not, that is like, yes, like I get that. Like I don't, the work hustle, culture porn thing, have at it. Like you weirdos, the people that have the whole day of meetings, like, yes. That's low frequency and high frequency is not. And like having time to be creative. Yeah. That stuff makes sense. He's forcing these words into it.
Yeah.
Or like make no sense. And like, he's saying it very woo-woo-ish. But to be fair, like, he's made a living off of making up words to explain something to be known as that thing. Like Dark Social, like Dark Social one is a huge example that people talked about that for freaking years and talked about, oh yeah, Dark Social really is real. And then it, like, as everything, people start making fun of it because you use it too much. But I think he's getting starting off with being made fun of because of the frequency thing.
Yeah.
I just think it's too woo-woo for a lot of people. You know what where I think he lost everyone? Is the mention of the comment, because when we did listen to the podcast, when he starts talking about his fingers tingling and seeing in the future, I think that's where he lost a lot of people. Like, starting off with that, you're losing people. Like, that might be too woo-woo for people. High frequency, low frequency, made up words. You could probably get some people there. The seeing into the future thing, whether it's real or not.
Yeah.
Look, I think aliens are real. So that's the thing. But you lost me there. Like, your hairline's still great, but
your hairline is still great.
I mean, you can't debate that.
Yeah.
He would do great.
I think the thing is, like, this reminds me of my former boss. She quit her corporate job and like wrote a book on burnout and things like that. And she talks about like taking intentional sabbaticals from work and it won't ruin your career and like going back into it. So she became like kind of a burnout coach. I think that's what he's doing, but he's doing the Chris Walker thing where he's doing this, like, it's high frequency, it's low frequency, it's called this, and it's like you're exhibiting low frequency behavior, things like that. He's doing his Chris Walker thing, and that's what's taking people out of it. I mean, also my former boss never once predicted or tried to predict the future. She was just more like, hey, you're going to crash out if you keep going this way, which is some of the stuff he's saying.
Yeah.
But I think it's going a little bit further out into the universe, and he's starting to lose, what are otherwise like more practical, logical buyers and executives of these companies. Like, imagine an executive following him and then going into a board meeting and saying, don't ask me for ROI. That's pretty low frequency. They'd get freaking kicked out. But I also I'm waiting because he's kind of doing the build up now. He's trying to educate everyone on what it is. I want to see what the offer is going to be.
I know what the product is. I don't know what the offer is.
There's a product? What's the product?
So we talked about this with John Vick, because he's in like the program.
Okay.
He mentors him.
You talked to him about it. I did not talk to him about it.
They were there for a little bit.
Okay.
But at least one of the products, maybe. I don't know if he's going to have more products, but I know one of the products is like a diary thing, like a journaling, and you take a picture of it with an app, and it'll kind of like, I think it has AI in it, and it'll kind of like give you insights based off of the journaling, like what you should do, or based off of that. I think I can't remember exactly what it is. John Burke might have more information on this. We can get that from him. But like, there's a journaling thing that you do every day. You take a picture, and there's AI and stuff, and like analyzes it and like gives you, what you should do, or like gives you feedback, or like something like that every day. And you have to like do it every day. And then there's also like a group message or group WhatsApp group or something like that. So it's like a community thing too. Again, that could just be one product. That could just be beta product, but I know that's one part of it. But the offer, because he's warming everyone up right now.
Yes, he's warming everyone up.
He's getting people going. He's doing his thing.
He's going to be commenting soon for waitlist to be on this product waitlist for us to join.
If he does a comment gate,
you're going to lose it.
I will lose it.
Yeah, I know.
We will have an emergency podcast.
We will have an emergency podcast.
And we will go into it.
I will drop my clients and all the client work just to have the emergency podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to. By the way, I just bought the friend.com thing, AI. So I'll have that at that point.
You did not buy it.
Shit, you not? Yeah. Want to see it?
You did not. Did you really buy it?
I did. It's actually not that much.
How much was it?
I'm just curious, to be honest. I'm $129.
Oh, he did say it was $129. Oh my God, you actually bought it. It's in the post, the $129 wearable.
Free shipping.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is great.
I'm curious. I'm just curious. I think it'd be good research. Yeah.
This should be interesting. Okay. I think we're ending on a good note.
Yeah, agreed.
And so we've gone on way too long this podcast. I love that.
I forgot to bring it out.
That's good. Okay.
Retention rate.
retention rate. And that's a wrap on Notorious B2B, where we expose the nonsense and remind you that most B2B marketing is just a very expensive guessing game.
Don't, and post a passive-aggressive LinkedIn poll about it. We'll still find you.
And if you have B2B drama we should cover, slide into our DMs. We accept screenshots, leaked internal memos, and questionable brand rebrands.
Until next time, keep your marketing unhinged and your LinkedIn bio free of the words growth hacker. See you later.
Later, skater.